Assalamu alaikum warahmatullah. Continuing on in our journey of the 10 who were promised paradise. Today, inshallah, we're going to talk about Zubair ibn Al-Awwam. Zubair is someone who took part in all of the major battles in Islam, starting from Badr. He sat on the Majlis al-Shura. He sat on those companions who were actually eligible for the Khilafah, but had to decide amongst themselves on who the next leader would be. And the main characteristic that I would like to draw out when it comes to Zubair is the fact that he was a nasih, right? Like he was an individual who was always ready to give advice. And what's interesting about an individual who's always ready to give advice is that he doesn't always volunteer it. He only gives that advice when it is sought from him. And from the first stations that the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam actually gave him was that he made him a commander at Badr. Now, Badr is one of the most important, if not most important, battles in Islam because it actually what came from it was recognition as a political Islamic state, and the fact that they were a force that were to be reckoned with. And that was where we see a lot of the momentum shift in our Islamic history, especially early Islamic history, during the time of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and how he sallallahu alaihi wasallam actually put him in that position. And we find that he radiallahu an, in every single position that he was put in, he always tried to fulfill it to his best. He made sure that he was always a good support for every time he was sought and every time he was asked for it. And I think that this is something that we should definitely learn from. That every time that we are asked for support, that we're there to give it in the most appropriate way. And if we see that there's something that's being done, maybe not in the best way or not in the most appropriate way, well, that is an opportunity for us to advise. And why can we advise? Because we're being sought for that help at that point. And people don't always like hearing volunteered advice because it comes across as judgmental. But the moment somebody asks me to do something for them, or the moment somebody asks me for advice, they have opened that door, and it's completely reasonable, and I should do my best to try to present that advice in the best way. And this was the life of Zubair ibn Awam. Every time he was called upon, he stepped up to the plate. And, radiallahu an, he was someone who could be relied upon, someone who was relied upon, and someone who gave advice every time it was due. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make us from those who give good advice and know when to give it. Jazakumullah khair.